Good afternoon, everybody. This is OTC. I trade with Bear Bull Traders Community, and this is part 2 of the AMD trade on 8/31/2020. So I started the recording a little late on this second portion of the trade, but as we were discussing in the previous video, so here was my last partial on the short position, which came from here, last partial here, and on the same candle here took it long, took a partial on a long, and then got stopped out. But as I was mentioning, I was seeing this to develop into a trend day, and you'll see the trend line gets drawn in here shortly. So then as it's breaking the 20 on the 1, and you see here in hindsight, right, increasing volume, but you could see that it was starting to increase volume already after this candle. So it got a good pop here on increasing volume. Then they tried to push it down, and this thing closed above the 9 on the 1 and also closed above both averages on the 2. So I took a position here, got a partial on the 50 on the 1, and then on the break I took another partial pop there. Then I took a partial at this intraday level, so good move to the upside. Took a couple more partials here based on L2. Now you can see here at 90.50 you've got a pretty good stack of asks, and you can see here that at 90.40 you've got a good stack of asks as well. So was watching to see if it was going to break through that level, so let's play it. Because it didn't break through on this candle, I took a partial at 90.38, I believe. We can run it back and play it. Oh no, 90.49. So I saw this stack at 90.50 at a $0.50, so I took a partial there at 90.49. Okay, so it looks like I'm marking here what? So 10% partials, 10% partial there. This was 2 partials, so it amounted, so that was my 20% and my 10% and my 25%, because it amounted to 35%, and then a 50% partial of total position there. So looking at the time, that's also what I'm looking at here, as I was circling the time to see the close of the 5-minute candle, to see where this candle was gonna close. So consolidating again, let's run it forward a little bit. Took another partial there as it got top heavy and it couldn't get over that 90.50 level. And I was circling the time earlier for the 1-minute candle to see how that 1-minute candle was going to close. Okay, so now we've got a hanging man on the 2-minute, but we've got it on a strong push up. So, I'm going to show my P&L there. Sorry about that. So now you can see that from being -75 up 250, so AMD has been pretty good up to this point. Run it a little faster here. So it doesn't look like I have any position left at this point. During the consolidation, I took my last partial here, which I shouldn't have, now I recall. Regretted that I took this partial out here, because I'm in at this average down here, and all AMD is doing at this point is consolidating, but this is not a bearish checkmate. So you don't have a bunch of wicks to the top side, making it a bearish checkmate. So there it goes, starts pushing. Oh, comes back, still consolidating. Now I have the trend line in, so now I'm waiting for it to get down to this trend so that I can add. Get down to this line so I can add. Getting a little top heavy, so starting to feel like this exit on this position here was a good idea. I know I take another entry to the long side. Let's see where that happened. Speed it up, then it starts to bounce. So tested this 15 on the 1 and bounces, and there goes, big burst of energy, right? So I think I wait for this 3-bar play right here. So it doesn't retrace more than 33%, closes on strength. Still consolidating. Hesitated to take an entry there, and now I take an entry with seeing the orders here at 91 and seeing the strength on the level 2. So get a good 25-cent jump, and I took a pretty large position on that. Let's run it back. Yeah, took 250 shares on that, so pretty good size position. Then make sure and lock in profits there.
Yes.
Take another partial in case this thing comes back at me. No, actually what's happening here is I got all out and then I took a short, got stopped out. Now I've taken another short, so I'm playing it to the downside, which, you know, I kept telling myself this thing is in a trend mentality, so why are you being a contrarian at this point? But I'm just giving up profits at that point, right? For taking a short here, trying to fight the movement up. Just let it be. If you can, find another entry to the long side, or wait until this thing is really ready to turn over. So another short there, stopped out. Another short here, and finally get the move, taking partials. Starts working back towards me, and I bail. And it just keeps pushing higher. So now it's making a double top. Run it back. So now, let's see. Now it's making a double top right here, and so now should wait for this next top to form and then take a short at that point. But after giving up P&L on trying to short it here, and then, you know, making up a little bit of it here on this short, I think I went ahead and said no more. So let's minimize this and take a look on the actual chart to see if I still try it again. Yeah, so there's my long, partial, 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 partial all the way up, all out, and then got stopped out. So actually I did take another trade on this that I didn't show, because we're looking at, let's see, so let's scroll out here. Yeah, so earlier we were looking at this, right? Because I was pointing out the possible, is it the 1 minute? The possible double top that was forming here. There's that double top, and then here's those positions that I took that didn't work out. Took a long here, partial, stopped out, long here, partial, stopped out, long here, partial, 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 all the way up, then stopped out. And I think that's where I finally stopped trading it. Yeah, so here's the first action. I got chopped around. These are the partials from the big move I had up. Here's where I get chopped around, and then I take one last pop to see if it can break up to the high of day. Then saw this engulfing candle coming back, almost engulfing. Watched it a little bit, and then I saw these two engulfings, and I was done. Once it came underneath these two averages, got out of the rest of my position. So that's part 2 of AMD, and that was the last trade for the day. All right, thank you.